To get started with organic chemistry, you'll want to review general chemistry concepts. Some useful concepts to review include the components of the atom, such as the protons, neutrons, electrons, orbitals, including hybridized orbitals, polarity, including dipole moments and polar covalent bonds, and the concepts of acidity like pH and pKa. You should be proficient at drawing and recognizing Lewis structures from general chemistry. And in Orgo, you'll be introduced to a style of drawing compounds that'll take a little practice to get used to. You're going to see compounds drawn as bond line structures. These make it easier and more efficient to draw organic molecules. Let's start with a simple line. In bond line structures, each endpoint represents a carbon. So here's a molecule with 2 carbons. The most important thing to remember is that carbon is capable of 4 bonds. That's how many valence electrons it has. In bond line drawings, whenever you see a carbon, you assume it has hydrogens. They generally won't show you the hydrogens bonded to the carbons. If they're not explicitly drawn, they're assumed to be there. So because carbon is capable of 4 bonds, there are 3 hydrogens attached to each carbon on both sides of this line. It's 3 hydrogens because both of these carbons already have a bond between them. They now each have 4 bonds. Now let's bend this line. That's another way to represent a carbon, a bend in the line. We now have 3 carbons. If we expand that out to a bunch of zigzags, we can count out the carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we know that carbons have 4 bonds in total, and we know that we don't usually see hydrogens drawn in these bond line structures. So if we did draw on the hydrogens, this is what it would look like. If we zoom in on these carbons, we can see they each have 2 hydrogens attached to them. 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds. The endpoints have 3 hydrogens attached to them. Now notice that none of the carbon-carbon bonds in this molecule are double bonded. It's all single carbon-carbon bonds. These types of organic molecules are known as alkanes. Carbons, of course, can have double bonds and triple bonds as well. The double bonded carbon molecules are known as alkenes. If the molecule has a carbon-carbon triple bond, they're known as alkynes. It doesn't matter the number of these double or triple bonds. If they have even one, that's what they're classified as.